How do I tell the difference between these two questions? 1, explain why governments are concerned about high inflation. 2, explain why governments are concerned about a fall in productivity. These two questions look incredibly similar, okay? But one thing we need to note is in this topic on macro aims and issues, there are 3 big themes you can expect to be tested on. Number 1, causes of macro problems. Number 2, consequences of macro problems. Third one, cures or your policy solutions. So one way to decide what to write for these questions is to first identify which of the 3 themes is the question based on, okay? So when you talk about consequences, why governments are concerned when any of the 4 macro problems arise, that is mostly memory work, okay? So in my console notes, I have acronyms to help you remember. If you talk about inflation, you'll be worried about how higher inflation relative to other countries hurt export price competitiveness. How high inflation leads to shoe leather costs, menu costs, inflationary spirals, how it hurts in equity, etc. They are all memorized, okay? But if a question is about causes of macro problems, the focus is not so much on memorized points, but AD and AS analysis, where you try to link a certain event to your macro problems. So looking back at the 2 questions earlier on, the first one, when you ask why governments are concerned with high inflation, the issue here is a macro problem on hand. So it relates to the consequences of high inflation, aka spam the memorized points. Second, why governments are concerned with the fall in productivity. A fall in productivity is not exactly one of your 4 goals. It is an event that can threaten your goals. So the focus is actually explaining the causes of your macro problems. You can explain how a fall in productivity hurts your investor confidence, AD falls, how it leads to wage push inflation if wages do not fall as fast as productivity, or how it leads to lower quality of labor, hence productive capacity is affected. Okay, so the second question is on causes of macro problems. Of course, if you have time, you can extrapolate to 1 or 2 micro problems like equity. Okay, so I hope that helps.